Hi there, Orlando here with another contemplation of the jinkies that are transiting us in this period. So it's time to take it lightly. I'm wearing my hoodie. I didn't shave. I'm just in a very light atmosphere here. So I didn't plan this. Of course, this is how things happened. So I say okay. I'm going to do the contemplation like this because it suits the 30th jinki with desire, lightness, and rapture, and of course the 29th jinki with half-heartedness, commitment, and devotion. So this contemplation was very important for me because it gave me some answers that I was looking for in my life. And I think it had some points to help any of you, of course by confirming that you're on the right path. And this is why I do these contemplations. I'm not doing to teach. I'm doing just to put things out there, and people that resonate say, okay, I'm in this too, and I felt this too, and so this is how we connect. So I'm doing this for connection, and I really love to do this. So what I'm going to do in the next 10-20 minutes, I don't know how this will take. I'm going to tell you the conclusions of the contemplation that I wrote. It's very it's large. It's like let me calculate. I really love to calculate sometimes. It's 3,500 words. So 10 times this, I'm going to write a book. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've written a lot of words about this to Jinki, so I'm coming right now with like the summary of it. And I really like to, I would really love to hear from you and how you felt these points that I'm going to go through, and what you felt in this period. Because these two jinkis are very contemporary. All the jinkis are contemporary, but these two are very important for us as a society, because desire, desire and half-heartedness. People are really trapped in their own desires, and lots of people are doing things they don't love, and they are doing like half-hearted things. So they don't put themselves into their relationships 100%, into their jobs, into their professions, and so they don't feel any commitment, or they don't feel the commitment to do something. And of course some people get sad because of this. So the first thing about the desire and the 30th jinki is desires are collective. They are not individual. So 100 years ago, people had other desires than we have now. So our parents' desires at the age when we are right now were different from our desires. So we are really impacted by the field of desire. Yeah. So both of them, both the 30th and the 29th jinki, are not about the individual, but are more about the collective aspect. So I'm planning with Catalin Pârvu to do a 5 months course about this side of the jinkis and their circuitry. We've taken it from human design, and of course put it into the jinkis aspect. But we don't know when we launch it. But until then, I'm going to tell you about this, because it's very important. So desires, they are not really. We can't talk about my desire because we've picked it up from the field, and now if we cling to it, what happens is we can't really feel, see, perceive reality in the outside, because we are so entrapped by our desire. We're so focused on our desire that we can't feel anything else in the exterior. So it's not about I know it's like I have a desire, but I picked up a desire and I clinged to it. So this is why lightness is the gift of the 30th Jinki, because if we treat desires lightly, we see them coming and going, coming and going. Some of them, of course, we indulge them. Some of them, yeah, because when the time is right, this is very important for the 30th Jinki. When the time is right, we can indulge our desires. But if we cling to them, we can't really perceive things in the outside. So it's like I don't know if you've been in a relationship where you were so entrapped by the desire to be in that relationship that you couldn't really perceive the person you were with. So after that the relationship broke, you are like, hey, I didn't really knew that person. I didn't know that person was capable of this. Yes, because this is how we're so focused on meeting that desire that we put all our energy in feeding that desire, feeding the illusion, feeding the fantasy. And of course, we get very disappointed after that and say, hey, what happened here? Yeah. So we have needs, yeah, but needs are after desire. So needs are in the back of desire. So our needs are like in our body, in our native construction. But if we put a screen of desires, we really block our view to our needs, our real needs. So we just see our desires, we just feel our desires and not our real needs. So sometimes a desire can be very different than what we really need, but sometimes the desire can be exactly what we need. This is why lightness is very important, and to treat ourselves lightly. And I will get more profound into this. This is just the beginning about the 30th Jinki. So desires are not really good or bad. They're like condiments. They're like salt and pepper. They are condiments of our existence, and really gets our existence to have taste. Yes, they give us a part of our uniqueness. So we can't really get rid of desires, yeah, because desires are not ours. Desires are just coming through. Because now people are wanting smartphones and computers and really desire them. Or relationships of some sort, but like 50 years ago, there were no smartphones. Relationships were done in some way. So they weren't in the field. Yeah, so we can't get rid of the field. We can't get rid of desires. This means just hiding from life. But what we do is just to really feel us, to really feel ourselves. Yes, to get past the desire. So we really can't enjoy anything in our life if we are stuck in that desire. So if we can't really enjoy our relationship if we are stuck in our desire about that relationship. This is what jealous people find out, that they really can't enjoy their relationship because they are always in defense and protecting their love, yes, or something like that. So jealous people, I'm sorry, but it's very hard for you to enjoy. You have seen this and felt this. It's very hard for you to enjoy life and to take life as it is, because you really can't perceive yourself, your needs, and that other person's needs, because there was just the desire. So this is why there are people that are in relationships and really can't understand the desires and the needs of also the needs of the other person, because they're so concentrated on their own. And this is also true about the desire to have more money and to have I don't know, to have a really strict education for the children. My kids will grow up like this, or and this desire, just when you follow this desire, when you follow this desire that you cling to, you just really can't perceive the needs of your children, your spouse, your friends, and you just end up alone. Yeah, so for me this is what this two jinkies transmitted to me in this period. So the ones that are trapped in desire and half-heartedness just end up alone and felt unsupported by life. Why? Because they can't commit, the gift of the 29th jinki. They can't commit to anything but their own desire. So they really can't they really they really can't support any relationship with anyone in the outside, and it's very hard. So there are parents that are working for their children non-stop for their children to have a better future, and they don't really ask their children, hey, this is what you need. Yeah, because the children will say, I want to spend more time with you, not I don't want money when I'm 18, because until that I'll be so fucked up that of course the kids won't tell this, but this is what's happening. So when we take our desires lightly, we really can't perceive the outside, we really can see the outside. So the 30th jinki lesson for me is about faith. Fate, not faith. Fate. Because fate is, for me, about the effects that we see in our life because of the causes that we that we inputted in the past. So we can really change our fate. But we can really change our fate when we start to really communicate with the outside. Because and how do we communicate with the outside is by commitment, is by committing to things. It's like committing to friendships, to relationship, to people. Yeah, because when we commit to other people, we really commit to ourselves and to our freedom and to our joy and to our good life. Yes, a commitment is not really like it's I am committed to a relationship and not anything else. When we commit to a relationship, we really commit to a relationship when we are committed to our needs. So, because if we are committed to our needs, we really can feel what kind of relationship is really right for us, is really supportive for our native genius, because people, because of their desires, are entering, and there are many people that are entering in relationships based on their desires, but not on their needs. And they're like people that say, hey, I just want a beautiful woman or a man with a six-pack, a six-pack, not a six-pack beer, but abdominal muscles or that. Of course, I'm generalizing, taking things lightly. But some people are very, and they follow their desires and enter into relationships with people that really don't support them, but just are, I'm sorry to say it, toxic. They and they are living in a toxic environment for them, and it's like putting a flower into asphalt. Yeah, when you put a flower in the right soil, that flower will grow. But when you put a flower in asphalt, in concrete, maybe that flower will find a way to grow. But that flower won't really be as beautiful and as big and as cherish like in the right soil. So we need the right soil, and the right soil is by being guided by our needs. We have different needs. Yeah, we had different experiences in our life. We have different wounds that we heal. So if we put ourselves in relationship with people that are that can't really support us, it's tragic for us, because we're going to be like in that we're going to be like that flower that grew where it wasn't good for it. So people are putting themselves in jobs where they don't use their native geniuses. They put themselves into relationships that aren't really supportive for them, and it's tragic. Yeah, and so people are get depressed, get sad, and just really say, my life sucks. Yeah, so this is why the 30th and the 29th jinki is very important as a lesson. So what have I found is to get into that supportive environment, you really have to be committed. Yeah, when you commit to yourself and to your needs, you get past your desires, you treat your desires lightly, and you enter in relationships, jobs, professions that are really right for you and your needs. So even if your desire says, hey, you could do better, or you could do, this is how, by comparison, yeah, this is how we get trapped in our desires. Look at all the commercials and the advertising industries that it's comparisons. This is better for you, but no, this is better for you. Yeah, take this. This is the best for you. And I don't really feel someone or something can be the best for us. I feel that something or someone can be good for us, can be supportive to us, can support our needs in that moment of time. Because life is a journey. Yeah, so we really need support. We can't be alone in that journey, because when people go alone in their journey, they go alone because of their own desires, and they say, I can do it all alone, so I can put a dent in the universe, like Steve Jobs said. And I'm sorry to say it, but we've read or we've seen aspects of Steve Jobs' life, and also we've seen how he died. So I don't think it's a very good example to how to handle life, because if you go by that desire, that very powerful desire, something will break, like getting sick, or not physically, maybe mentally or something will break, because what we need is support. This is why commitment and devotion are so important for us. We really thrive when we are committed to a group, to a community, to a tribe. This is why in tribes there isn't depression, because when trouble arises, it isn't the responsibility of one to figure things out. It is the responsibility of all. In a tribe, not there isn't like one person that goes out hunting. There are lots of men that go out hunting. Yeah, so they support each other. So when shit arises from the outside, they really can thrive, because if one has a bad day, the others will support that person. And of course, depression isn't I don't know, isn't received in that environment, because it doesn't have what to do in that environment. Yeah, depression comes when one person says, I can do it alone. Because of that desire, I want to be better than others. I want to have this. I want to have money. I want to be happy in a family. And I've seen this. People that are so trapped in their desires, and there are many people, and I've seen this in Romania, where I live, they can't really live in a community, because if they go into a community, they'll be like, hey, but that person really irritates me, or that, and they can't stay there, and they can't really put up a community. They can't really put up with a community, so they end up unfortunately alone. And when shit hits the fan, it's the saying. We really need support. Yeah, we can't do it alone, because when we go through provocation alone, sometimes we can handle that challenge, or sometimes we can't really handle that challenge. Even if we go through it, we end up like I don't know, a warrior with wounds and stuff like that. So lightness, and this is why lightness is paired up with commitment, because if you can commit to something outside of us, because we are committed to our needs, yeah, then we really thrive. And then when shit hits the fan, we're good. Yeah, we're protected, and we can really heal ourselves and really take life's challenges more easily. Yeah, some people just like to oppress themselves. Yeah, they like to be oppressed by their own. I don't know. I'm going to put something in Google Translate. Yeah, torment. This is the word. Yeah, some people torment themselves by saying, "Hey, I have the challenge. I have to take it all alone, because otherwise I won't get any points." You know. So healing, for me, and I've seen this, healing comes when we are together, when we get through life's challenges as unscathed as possible. You know, with less wounds, not more wounds. Because if you go through life's challenges all alone, you'll get wounded when you after you get through that challenge. Even if you get through that challenge, you know, with A plus. Yeah, because it's like going into a battle with an army of 100 without 100 comrades or friends beside you. You go it alone because I can do that. You know, this is ego. Yeah, you don't take life lightly. You say, "Hey, this is life, and life is hard, and I've got to fix this because I'm broken." And so we really can't connect with one another. So also the 30th and the 29th jinki is about how we connect with other people. So we can't connect with other people when we are trapped in our own desires. Yeah, this is for me. This is the lesson of the flux, the flux to give and to receive. You know, if one person is just set on giving or just receiving, it's really hard. So this is why we have to take things lightly. If we take things lightly, even money, there are people that are very strict with their money and take money very, very seriously. And they don't feel this flow of giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And they are really strict. And what they are doing is they are blocking people to come, money to come, nice challenges for them to come, projects, opportunities, because they are really strict with their money. Yeah, when one takes lightly something like money or relationships or anything else, so that person doesn't really need money or relationships anymore, but can enjoy money and relationships and other things. Yeah, we really can't transcend money or other stuff like this until we take things lightly. We can't transcend wars if we keep being very serious about wars. We can't transcend suffering if we're so strict about suffering. Yeah, you know, so taking things lightly is a path to transcendence for me. Yeah, maybe there are other paths, but I have the 30th jinki, and I really feel this transcendence, yes, of by treating things lightly, but also with respect, because some people are treating things lightly but without respect, and they because they're also trapped in their desire. And one desire is to not be trapped into desires. So they are doing things half-hearted. Yeah, so they aren't committed to anything. They aren't committed to themselves. They are just committed to this desire that I don't need any desires, you know. So this can be a trap too. Um, so what I want to say about these two jinkies, because I have this rants that I'm going into and speaking about with passion about these subjects. So I'm going to go to the next idea because I don't want to take 20-30 minutes with only this. Um, some people say that if they would have had more money, or if they would have a good relationship like someone has, or some say if I was famous like that person, I would be happy. I would be fulfilled. So we all know that these are just things that trick us. These are tricks of desire. Yeah. So this is like running after something that is outside of us, and we say, hey, if I ran into that space, I will be okay. And running doesn't really help, because a desire generates another desire. So if we desire money to be happy, when we have money, we'll desire something else to be happy. So we won't be happy, we won't be fulfilled by that. So this is why lightness, treating fate with lightness, really helps. Yes, because if we treat our fate with fate lightly, we really can see what choices we made in the past, and we can of course change our fate in the future by making other choices in the present. But if we are so trapped in this desire, if I had money I would be happy, and we chase money or relationships or other things to be happy, and we really can't see the choices that we've made until then, and the choices that produce results in the present, and results of course we don't like, so we're screwed. Yeah. So when we treat our desires like, because we all have them, I have them, of course. I sometimes might I feel the desire to, if I had I don't know, a better car or better apartment, or I would have done so much. So this is a trick. Yeah, because if I want that better car or better apartment, it's very simple. If I change what I do in the present, and I'm not doing things like in the past. Yeah, but if I'm just if I fall in this trick of the mind with desire, and say, hey, this money will really help me, and until then I'm fucked. I can't really analyze myself, and of course I should really I would really be fucked. Yeah. I have to hurry up because I don't have space to really you know record this. Yeah, but I have, I think, 10 more minutes. Yeah, the computer just told me lightly. Yeah, so these are complaints that we say that fate put them in front of us, but it was just our choices. Of course, our choices may be generated by our parents and our education, but we can change that. We're so adaptable. But we are adaptable when we stop clinging to desires and we treat them lightly. So why, if I'm in a relationship and I just have this desire in the moment to sleep with 3 women, why should I be so strict with that? Why should I blame myself for that? It's just a desire. Yeah, maybe if in the future the moment will be right, maybe that desire will come true. Maybe not. But if I treat it lightly, it won't really affect my relationship. But if I say, this is the absolute truth, because this is what I have to do, it's like chasing butterflies. We won't really catch them, or if we catch them, we won't really enjoy them because they'll be dead. Yeah. So this is how people get blocked in life, but by really um, you know saying that this desire is what will help me. So until that desire isn't met, my life is shit. So of course that person will do things half-hearted. Yeah, the shadow of the 29th Jinki will do things half-hearted. Yeah, because that person will feel that until then I can't do anything. So it won't commit to anything. It won't commit to his or her native genius, to the profession, to the relationship, to anything, because we'll chase that thing in the future. When I will have that thing in the future, I'll be so well, and it won't be until we take things lightly. Commitment is about, I want to talk to you about the 29 Jinki also. Commitment is about, really loving the human body, really loving the vehicle we are in, so we can love the vehicle of others, to really accept our unicity, our originality, because if we don't, we have the desire to change others to be like in our own illusions. Yeah, so we are committed. We really can be committed to another person when we really are committed to our body, and to love our body, to love our imperfections, our perfections, our smile, our everything, because they are perfect. And if we love ourselves, of course people will love us, because love is contagious. When a person can treat things lightly, really can love. Because if I'm in a relationship with a person that treats that relationship lightly and connects to me, and we live in connection, why should I want to leave that relationship? Why should I want that? But if I'm in a relationship with a person that really wants me to change, don't have so much desires, and to be like this, of course I would want to leave. I can't be committed because of the aggression from the outside. I can't be committed in the first, but of course we all know in the Jinkies community, with the Venus sequence, we really can change things around, but by being committed to us. And if we are in such relationships, we can be stable in them. So in time, the person we are in relationship or changes or leaves. But I'm speaking with about people that didn't go through the Venus sequence. And so lightness is very important, because some people say, if I treat things lightly, I don't this means I don't really love someone. And they are just confused, because they're confusing commitment to I don't know, fight, a challenge, an object of torment. So a relationship, we shouldn't be, we shouldn't have these struggles in our relationships, because we are all struggled because of our wounds. If we put our struggles in our relationship and we push buttons, we really can't enjoy them. So I found out in my experience that if I treat my relationships lightly, my relationships flourish. If I just commit to get past the desires to change other people, everything is going well. Even if those people will remain in my life or not, who knows? But I'm treating them lightly. I'm just honoring their wounds. I'm just honoring their process. And of course, I put health limits because of my needs. But I really can't change other people, so I'm treating them lightly as much as possible. And when I'm not treating them lightly, because I'm not perfect, I'm just reminding myself that, okay, I went overboard with this. I can always say sorry and get back to lightness. So lightness is a way of life. So, and I found that when I treated things lightly, I could really connect with other people because things happen naturally, because I wasn't forcing them anymore. No, I wasn't forcing to have a relationship in some way, my lover to be in a way that I wanted, and just went with the flow, went with the fate, with the results of my choices from my choices in the past. Yes, and so I've seen my fate being better for me because of the choices and not by forcing. And I've seen support coming and loving people coming in my life, and it's wonderful. Yeah, so I'm more committed right now than I was before when I was really strict. Yeah, in relationships and jobs and stuff like that, and things flourished. Yeah. Um, so okay, let me see what I can tell you more. It's a large contemplation. Yeah, I've told you about connection, so I'm not going to tell you any more about that. uh, um, so I'm going to end with this. Uh, Commitment and lightness really permit the giving and offering flux, and to give and to receive, that to give and receive this flux, this synchronicity, yes, to come. Yeah, when you treat things lightly, when you treat ourselves lightly, we really can see the results of our action, and really can see other people as they are, not as we want them to be. And so we really can perceive reality better, yeah, and to have a better lens. Yeah. So I wish to you to give in your relationships and to receive also in your relationships, to and to be very careful to not be trapped in a desire, and just letting them slide. And when that time comes for that desire to be indulged, you can go for it. Of course, we're human beings. Yeah. So um, imagine imagine a world where relationships are treated lightly. Imagine a world where countries treat each other lightly. Imagine a world where we treat money lightly, and imagine a world where we commit to ourselves lightly. Wouldn't be that not a more beautiful world, because also of course this is a beautiful world we live in, but a more harmonious world, a more balanced world. Yes, a world where everyone is has its place, has his or her place in this whole. And a world where depression is not needed anymore. A world where humans are living in tribes, yeah, tribes like new tribes, communities, self-sustaining communities. Wouldn't that world be nice? Yeah, maybe we won't live to get to live in that world. I want to live in that, but we can start by creating that world in a micro state, like living with other people in a community, and being self-sustained, and of course treating lightly, treating things lightly, and not put so many responsibilities on our shoulders, and not being so trapped by the desire to be desires to for things to be in in a sort of way. So in a world where should or we should have, or I don't know how, we must, the word where we must won't be so necessary. Yeah, so we must isn't so necessary. We If we treat ourselves lightly, we really can feel the rapture. Yes, we really feel the rapture and the CD of the 30th Jinki, and will be devoted one to another. You've seen how I'm trapped in this desire right now. When I'm saying, hey, in that future, if that will come, yeah. So I'm going to let this go lightly, and if that future will come, good. So I'm going to make my choices. To have support in this life and to have beautiful people with me, people that you know that want to live in this way, want to live lightly, want to live in harmony, and want to show others and inspire others to live better. So I think in the Jinkies we all just can, live better and show other people how relationships can be, and how money can be treated, and how problems can be treated, and how jealousness can be treated, and how relationships in problems can be treated. And one of the solutions, and I think is one of the best solutions for any relationship or problem, is lightness. So I invite you to contemplate lightness, because otherwise you'll be in torment. You If you treat things lightly in your life, life is easy, is easier. But if you treat things with if you treat things strictly, life becomes very hard. Yeah, the 47th Jinki with oppression is on the same circuit with the 29th and the 30th Jinki. Yeah. So there is that saying, if you love someone, you can let that person go anytime. So I'm going to end with, if you love yourself, you can let your desires be, not cling to them. So your any relationship you form will be natural, will be will be with ease, will be in the flux, will be with giving and receiving. So I wish you to give in your relationships, and to receive in your relationships, and to live in this flux that heals. Healing is for me giving and receiving, being active in this flux. See you next week. Bye bye.